Have you ever wanted to make videos but you felt like you missed the boat? Like you should have started back in high school or college? Does it take you several days to recover from one sip of alcohol? Then this video is for you. If you click this, you're most likely not a kid, but deep down you still have that desire to make videos. And I feel like it's still not too late. I made my first YouTube video when I was 29. It was a couple of months before my 30th birthday, and already by internet time, I felt like I was a fossil because David Dobrik started vlogging on YouTube when he was 19. And I was like, this is it. 29, I'm donezo. I was supposed to start at 21 at the latest. No one's going to connect with this. I'm too old to even learn how to do this. And since that, I've seen people who've started later than me and have done really well. Today, I want to talk to you about the perks of starting YouTube later in life. And not in a fake positive way, look at the silver lining, but the actual advantages of being older when you're starting out on YouTube. First of all, I believe it's actually easier on your mental health. Here's the thing with starting things young. As a society, we just assume it's better to start anything young, no matter what it is. And it makes sense for certain things like hockey. Yeah, if you can get laced up at 5 years old, you're better off to try to make it to the NHL. Because what 35-year-old is let me throw some skates on, let me actually give this thing a solid go. The thing is, we're not always ready to start everything early. We see this all the time with child actors. They start super young, they get famous at 6 years old, and it fucks their life up. It's not always good to start things before you're ready. It ends up messing their brain up a little bit. They feel alienated from normal people. They're just not really capable of relating to the average person. So I know on the outside it looks better, oh, this kid is a child star, or this YouTuber blew up when they were 12, but it's not always good. I see YouTube as kind of a microcosm for Hollywood, kids who blow up super young on YouTube. They just have no reference of comparison for anything else. A lot of them have no clue what it's like working a regular job or living a normal life where people don't know you. They end up being burnt out, maybe stressed, anxious, depressed. They have to step away from YouTube. It's very common. I started YouTube at almost 30 and I still struggled. I can only imagine if I started at 18. I would have probably quit. The second thing is, when you have more life experience, you have more of a perspective. For example, if you want to do YouTube as a job or a part-time side hustle, having had shitty jobs will make you appreciate the YouTube job more. If YouTube was someone's first and only job, then by default, it would be their worst job. They have nothing to compare it to. They're just this sucks ass. It's stressful. It's chaotic. It's unpredictable. People are rude to me. That's most real jobs. Except YouTube comes with a level of freedom that other jobs don't provide. There's people who leapfrogged years of shitty minimum wage jobs and bullshit corporate jobs because they blew up on YouTube either in high school or first year of university. So what ends up happening is the YouTube job becomes their most stressful job. This is the only one they've ever had. And I'm not saying YouTube's not stressful. All jobs have their problems. I just think it helps having perspective. Because then when something does annoy you about your job, whether it's YouTube or something else, you can stop and think and be well, I used to do this other thing and I think that was worse. Because you know what's more stressful about having to deal with the YouTube algorithm or maintaining an upload schedule? Having a shitty boss. That's universal for everyone. Just having a sack of shit boss is way worse than oh no, I have to put up a video this week. And what if someone leaves a mean comment? Every time I think about all the terrible managers I've had, I'm yeah, I'd rather just struggle with YouTube. But I only have that perspective because I've worked jobs most of my life. Most people do. So don't feel bad that, oh, I didn't start early enough, because you've been training for this. Successful YouTuber problems are not real. They get to do what they want for a living. They get to be creative. They get freedom. They can set their own schedule or choose what videos they get to work on. No one just hands them stuff and goes, hey, I want this done by end of day or you're fucking gone. Yeah, I still get annoyed from time to time when people say some stupid shit online, but then I think about interviewing for jobs and how it's 6 rounds of interviews for one job. And suddenly that dumb comment isn't that bad. I would say another benefit of starting late is it gives you a more unique point of view. When I was 19, I was in community college. I had a bunch of friends and we all talked the same and kind of dressed the same and had similar lives. I was about as unique as H&M. That's that age that everyone's just trying to fit in. I didn't really think for myself as much. I'm just what are the right words I should make with my mouth to make people like me or agree with me? We're all just trying to get along with as many people as possible. And then as time goes on, like we get tossed around by life a little bit and we start developing our own point of view. We start being interested in different things, learning from different sources, and we're not just like this one homogenous blob by a certain age. So I found as I got older, I started developing more of my own established voice. And I didn't spend as much time like listening to what other people were saying. Like, yeah, I'm still trying to learn from as many people as I can, and I'm trying to be open-minded and like take in new information. But ultimately, I'm also trying to listen to my own inner voice and do what I feel is right for me. Because like we live in a weird time where everybody wants to be a guru and everyone's going to tell you like this is how you need to do stuff. And if you're like 19 years old, it's easy to just get taken by that. You're like, okay, well, this guy wrote a book or this guy did a podcast and he says, you got to do it like this. It's like there's so many ways to do it, and only through getting older do we figure that out. So if you start a channel on YouTube, that translates because now you have your own established way of doing things and you can share that with others. You actually have something to say by that point and not just be like searching and chasing for a thing. Like with my video filmmaking stuff, for example, like I'm always trying to learn new stuff. I'm always watching videos on like storytelling or cinematography, but I also know how I like to shoot stuff, what kind of voice and tone I like in my videos, how I like to edit. Like I take stuff in, but at the end of the day, I make stuff that I feel is authentic to me. And so when I share that on YouTube, I'm just sharing what I do, what worked for me. And maybe it'll help someone else, maybe not. But I'm not telling anyone what to do. So it's this weird balance I'm walking where I'm trying to improve, but I'm also trying to focus on my own style. Okay, next point I would make is if you're starting YouTube and you're young, I feel like there's a lot more pressure to succeed. Like when we're young, people kind of look at us and they see potential. They're like, oh, imagine what this person could be in 5 years, in 10 years. And that just adds a lot of pressure because people already expect stuff of you. And then you start kicking yourself like, oh, I got to be somewhere by a certain age. By 35, no one's looking at me and being like, oh yeah, that kid's going places. No one's ever had that thought. They're just like, oh, you're into this stuff? Neat. Like nobody cares. And in a way that takes off so much pressure. Like I just make videos that I think are good and I set my own goals. Like that's it. If I was 15 years younger, I'd be like really worried what other people thought of my videos, like what my peers think, my friends, my family, whoever. Now I'm just like, what do I like? What seems interesting to me? That's pretty much it. There's no need to overcomplicate it. Like if I shared a video 15 years ago and my friends didn't like it, I would feel bad. Now it's like my friends don't even know I make videos and I don't mind that at all. Like my social circle is so much smaller now. There's just like a few friends that are grandfathered in and that's pretty much it. So if I create something and it doesn't end up working out, it's like it never happened in the first place. Like at an older age, no one really gives a shit about us outside of like maybe our partner and someone in our family, which is not a bad thing. I feel like that gives us the freedom to just make whatever we want. Because like other people are consumed with their own problems. Like they got their career, their families, their health, their finances. Like nobody is watching us and what we're doing. We could just take risks, learn new things. It doesn't matter. So if you're a little bit older, this is actually a really good time to start making stuff because you're basically invisible and you can just improve in private. Okay, that kind of leads me into my next point, which if you're starting later, there are less distractions. Like for me, from ages 19 to 22, I was either drunk, hungover, or about to be drunk again. This would not be helpful for making videos. Now I'm 35, I'm married, I have 3 pets, and I spend most of my time thinking about what videos to make, filming, or editing. Like none of this would have been possible when I was younger because I was just way too distracted. I was either partying or socializing, or I was just not living a very healthy lifestyle. I wasn't really doing any inner work. I was just trying to chill, basically, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of what that era of life is for. But once you're over that and you have your own goals, don't feel bad about starting later because you've gotten past all that stuff that distracts most people from doing what they want to do. Like at 23, I started my own business and I ended up going on Dragon's Den and doing pretty well, but still, I was like way too distracted with other bullshit to really take that business as serious as I should have. So if I started making videos that early, I would have probably got distracted and quit either way and probably never picked it back up. Okay, my final observation is when you start YouTube later, I feel like you're more relatable to a broader range of people. When I was 20, I only related to other 20-year-olds. Like, no 35-year-old would look at 20-year-old me and be like, oh, I got so much to learn from this guy. Like, that rarely happens. I wasn't inspiring anybody. I wasn't educating anybody. I was just existing as a 20-year-old, which was cool. Now that I'm in my mid-30s, I'm in that weird place where I can connect with people 10 years younger than me and 10 years older than me. This means I can compete in different weight classes. Like, if you truly feel you should have started when David Dobrik started, I understand. Like, it is more fun to succeed younger. You get to have money sooner, you get to do fun stuff with your friends, but it's not like the only path in life. But as we get older, we get exposed to new things, gain more experiences, like we develop more interests, which means we can go in more directions. Like, if you told me when I was 19 years old that I was gonna have a monetized pet vlog channel, I would not have believed you. I would have just like taken another shot of whiskey and turned away. I never even thought it'd be possible for me to have pets, let alone a pet channel. Because at that age, I was just doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu full time. And that's not even my life anymore. So it just goes to show you how dramatically our life can change. Like, the stuff we like when we're young is not the stuff we're going to keep doing the rest of our life. Like, if you're watching this now and you're no longer super young, the stuff you're into, you're more likely to be into over the next 5 to 10 years. Ages 18 to 26, I was basically a different person each year. Like, imagine trying to start a YouTube channel when you're already going to be a different Pokemon next year. How do you plan for that? Anyway, those have just been my observations. If you're feeling bad about your age, you feel like you've missed the boat, it's too late to start, it's not. Like, people start every day, every year. You're going to think it's too late, and then next year you're going to see someone who's older than you that started the year before and now they're doing well, and you're going to be like, shit, I should have started. Yeah, I think there's still a way. Because even if it doesn't work out, you'll gain other things from it. I think there's a lot of actual reasons to start, which I'll talk about in another video. If you're willing to be yourself, like your real self, then it doesn't matter how old you are. Because what people care about is when they watch someone, they're like, that's who this person is. I feel like this is real. If you're trying to be someone you're not on camera, people are going to sense that, and it's just not going to work. Whether you're 18 or 48. So yeah, fuck it. Just start. You don't have to do it your whole life. All right, that's it. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll see you next time.